Hey, it's Blake Griffin. If you've listened to my Audible original podcast, The Pursuit of Healthiness, then you know I'm a huge wellness geek. Audible asked me to do this crazy experiment where I wear a sleep tracking device, and now we're going to analyze the data with a sleep expert.
So Blake, tell me, I'd love to know a little bit about your history with sleep.
My history and my relationship with sleeping is sort of up and down. I normally never have an issue falling asleep. My issue is normally I'll wake up at 3, 4 in the morning, and sometimes I'm up for like an hour, hour and a half.
Let's have a look at some of your sleep scores from the week of October the 19th, 2020. So this tells us how well you slept the previous night. And ideally, your sleep score wants to be around 85 and above. And your scores, they really fluctuate. And in fact, I looked at the most recent data from last weekend, and I was a little bit worried for you because I saw that they even dipped down to about 37, 38.
Honestly, it's kind of what I imagined it would be. I didn't realize I'd gotten down so low. Sometimes after games, I just can't get to sleep right away, but that's really the only time I ever have issues falling asleep. My issue is normally I'll wake up at 3, 4 in the morning, and sometimes I'll be up 30 minutes, sometimes I'll be able to go right back to sleep, but sometimes I'm up for like an hour, hour and a half. And then as you go and as that happens, you sort of wake up again at 4 and you're like, in your head, you're like, oh no, not again.
That must be so frustrating for you. I mean, how do you cope when that's happened, the night before a big game or something? How does that affect you?
Mentally, it kind of messes with me sometimes, knowing that sleep is so important for recovery. I mean, some nights we will have played that night, I'll go to sleep, I'll wake up at 4, and we have a game that next night, and sort of gets into my head where I'm just like, oh no, I'm going to be so tired during this game, I'm not going to be on my A game, whatever it is.
So has this always been a bit of a pattern with you, this waking in the early hours?
Not always. I think maybe around mid-20s is when I'm 32 now, so maybe I would call it the past 7, 8 years. Is when it started affecting me more.
So innately, most human beings will have what's called a biphasic sleep pattern. So we fall asleep and then we wake in the early hours, and it goes back to the days of being a caveman or a hunter-gatherer. We wake up, check the cave is safe, and then go back to sleep. So first of all, I just want you to know it's normal. What's happening is normal. What isn't normal or desirable, and what I'd really love to help you with, is it's not nice to stay awake. You need that sleep. I also looked at the data, and sometimes you go to bed quite late.
I normally get into bed around midnight. Most nights we finish playing games 10:30. So I just can't one night go to sleep at 10 and then the next night be up till midnight. I feel like it's just better to try to keep a consistent bedtime. So normally midnight is around the time when I'm in bed.
Just to give you a little bit of data around this, the ideal window for getting to sleep, the setup, if you like, is at some point between 9:30 and 10:30 in the evening. It's almost like catching, you see surfers when they're surfing, they catch the wave at the right point. So going to bed at the right time sets you up to surf that wave to get into sleep. So we looked at your readiness scores. You want them to be between 80 and 100. And there were days when your readiness scores were really pretty low. Evidently, you've got so used to working with sleep that's sometimes not great that you know how to push through this.
Yeah, I mean, during the season, naps are a huge thing in the NBA. Every guy normally on game days is always taking a nap. I, even on non-game days, try to get a nap in. And that just kind of helps. I keep my naps sort of on the shorter side, anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. Try to keep it normally under an hour.
Yeah, so naps are brilliant, and I'm really glad that I heard that you nap. And you're right to keep the timing, really to keep an eye on the timing. So a power nap is anything up to 20 minutes. You won't feel as if you're sleeping. We could sit here right now and close our eyes, and we would be in, we could go into a power nap state. We could even try that. I could show you if you like. But it's no more than 20 minutes. The time of the day is really important. It's at some point between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, no later than 4. Otherwise, that's going to affect your ability to sleep at night. Your ability to be restored by your sleep is directly related to, that how much REM sleep, how much deep sleep. So it's not just hours of sleep, but it's this kind of really pure, clean sleep that we're trying to get. That sets you up to be ready for your day. And we're looking here at one of the nights where you are awake at 4 a.m. So that normal time to wake up, but you don't want to stay awake during that time. So this is one of those nights where you didn't get enough deep sleep, and your REM sleep, you weren't getting that as well. So when we sleep at night, we sleep in 90-minute cycles, and each 90-minute cycle is divided into slices. Now the phases that are really important for you and for your life and what you do, you want to be getting your REM sleep. You want to be getting your deep sleep.
Sometimes just the quality of my sleep is not great. I've done most of the things I need to do to set myself up for a good night's sleep, and sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. So I try not to put too much thought into it, because I feel like I'm just putting unnecessary pressure that I can't control on my sleep.
So I want to reassure you that you're absolutely right to not put too much of a spotlight on your routines and what's going on with your sleep, So you want to care about it, but not too much. Not to the point where it makes you anxious and worried about it. So I think you've got the right thinking when it comes to that. What impact do you think stress has on your sleep?
Stress, not so much. After games, I'll sometimes, like I said, have trouble falling asleep, but then sometimes as well, I'll wake up and just be my mind will go straight to that game, and then I'll sort of get this burst of energy when I wake up, and that's sort of what attributes to not being able to fall back asleep. So adrenaline for sure. Stress, I feel like I handle stress pretty well when it comes to sleep. It doesn't really, I'm able to sort of shut that off and fall asleep, but the adrenaline thing for sure.
What you've described, Blake, is you've made a distinction between adrenaline and stress. Stress is the long-term effect of not coping with the adrenaline, but you cope well with stress. You've got good coping strategies. But what you did have here on this night was a burst of adrenaline which kicked in just before 4 a.m. We can see the dip here in your heart rate variability. So you got a shot of adrenaline which kicked in then. And if we look at what happened to your heart rate, it spiked at that time as well. So you got a shot of adrenaline. When this happens during the night and you get these spikes, use your understanding of breathing to calm your nervous system, because what's happened is your sympathetic nervous system has kicked in. And what we want to do, the sympathetic nervous system is the stress part of your nervous system. What we want to do is kick in the parasympathetic, which is the vagus nerve, which will help to normalize your nervous system. It'll help to calm the nervous system. But not every night of your sleep is like this. So I don't want you to come away from today feeling depressed. You also have some good nights as well.
Great. It's good. It's good to know. It's comforting.
Do you think your nutrition and your eating patterns give you the right sort of energy?
Yeah, I'm pretty conscious about my diet. There's times where I allow myself to have a meal here or there that's not necessarily as on path with the rest of my meals.
Can I quickly ask, Blake, do you eat breakfast first thing in the morning?
Not first thing in the morning. Now I probably am awake an hour to an hour and a half before I eat breakfast.
You really want to eat within half an hour, 45 minutes of getting up. Make it something small, but please, if you can hit that breakfast within half an hour to 45 minutes, it'll reset your nervous system. It'll help you make more melatonin, okay? You're what I would call a sensitive sleeper. But you've got some good resilience tools to be able to cope with that. But you know, there's still scope for improvement. So look at those little things. Like I said, the breakfast, hydration, spending time with your family. I suspect you're already doing this though, because you're very resilient. And sleep is only one way of getting energy. So I think you've got a big toolkit and you're using it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Marina. This was incredible. And I learned so much about something that I care a lot about. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Blake. I hope you enjoyed this, and I really hope you sleep well tonight.
Check out season 2 of my podcast, The Pursuit of Healthiness, only on Audible.